Good morning. It is Sunday, the 6th of October, here in Turkey Beach, back there. I'm just leaving. Rod Bay, I think it is. Rod Peninsula over there. Today I'm going to head to the town of 1770. I'll head back to 1770. Well, that would be interesting. Should be 6-7 hours maybe. The tide is still running in here in the creek, so I am fighting that. The tide will turn at around 10 o'clock, so time now being 8:35. I'll expect that to slacken off fairly shortly and not give me too much of a fight going out. Wind is also coming the same way as the tide right now against me. But I didn't really want to wait till 10 o'clock before I made a move. So as I'm going along here, I'll start feeling the benefits basically of a slacker tide, and then hopefully, even the following tide. So, doing it here, right? I'm much happier leaving places early rather than arriving late. But that's how I am in life. I'm a morning person, not really an evening person, but always. And alcohol, yeah, maybe that changes. But anyway, that's a different story. Anyway, this is what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so just heading up the channel, doing 3 knots. George has the con, and we're steering 297 at the moment, which is obviously a bit to the northwest as we head out of this creek. So luckily, the tide is nearly high, so the benefit there, of course, is I'm not going to struggle like I did coming in trying to find all the deep spots. They are fairly well all deep at the moment, which is brilliant. Anyway, let's see what today brings, shall we? Yeah, it looks like the wind's gone down a little bit since overnight. At around 1 a.m., the boat was pointing upstream as the tide was going out. And the transom where my bunk is was presented to the waves, and I was getting some real good slap and roll last night. Not the kind that you want either, right? So, but I did get back to sleep, so all is not lost. Getting closer to the red mark, and the ships of Gladstone Harbour Paddock looking into view again. And we're getting a little bit of groundswell coming in, so we're on the briny again. We're on the briny. So, beautiful day, lovely scenery. Turkey Beach fading away behind us now. It's looking around the waterway again. You would have seen this yesterday if you looked at that video. It's beautiful on Spithead up there. And there's a red marker up there somewhere ahead where we'll then do a bit of a right turn and head down the coast towards 1770. I don't know if you can see that, but in the distance, the blue hills in the distance there are the ones above Gladstone. So we're still in the same bay as Gladstone, basically, but we'll be leaving that. Well, we'll be leaving that tomorrow. We're right on the edge of it. It's going well. Right. But it's nice and high. So I'm sure exposed. Made the journey coming out a lot easier. Right, so finally, after about 2 hours, I'm finally out with the motor off. So just pointing up on this slight little section here, and then I'll be heading downwind more, which should give me a bit better angle. But at the moment, at least, got the engine off, and we're moving along, so that's great. Bring on the science. And Rod Bay. Coming out more out into the open water now. Still on the motor. I've got the main up. I'm just a couple of degrees off being able to go to sail it, but still, at least it's up. So I don't have to worry about that once I'm there. All I have to do is turn right and sail. So, yeah, all good. Spithead, I think. Yeah. So yeah, it's should be a nice sail once we get the wind on the right quarter and make some good headway. Nice day out here, nice and warm. That cruiser there came in at the same time as I did yesterday, but obviously they can get away with going at shallow. So that's okay. Still only a cruiser, you see. Coming up on Laura Point on the Rods Peninsula, and yeah, once we get around that, I'll turn further to the right and more downwind, so it'll make the ride more comfortable. It's been bashing up against a bit of swell chop here, which is fine. We're still doing 5 to 6 knots, so yeah, make up for that 2 hours almost on the motor in the channel. So anyway, there's fast bits and slow bits that get really tricky. Sort of medium. It's quite fast, but yeah, it should be settling down into the next leg, which will be more comfortable, as I said. A lot of the algae on the water here, being blown in on that wind, obviously. So yeah. Richards Point now coming into view behind Laura Head. It's getting close to the corner, as it were. That's the edge of Rods Peninsula. And, yeah, bit of up and down out there. Choppy. Right, getting ready for my favourite part, or one of my favourite parts. I'm going to turn downwind further, which means the wind will be coming from more behind and makes for a very comfortable ride, fast ride. We've been hitting 7 knots coming around that point. We're just avoiding these rocks. You can see the white water over there to be avoided at all costs. The swells actually moderated a bit too, because I think it was getting steep as it approached the point, as the seabed obviously got shallower. We're now at about 9 meters of water. So definitely more comfortable now. It kind of feels like the wind's gone down a bit, but of course that's always the way when you're going with it. So it reduces the apparent wind. Anyway, adjust sail. That's the entrance to Pancake Creek in there, which is probably where I should have gone last night, but hindsight's 2020, right? So yeah, big wide open bay here. When I look for the name of it, it just says Marine Park. I don't think that's the name. So yeah, I got along really nicely. 6 to 7 knots. Boy, I had with that. As we round the point further up, which you can't quite see, it's behind the headsail, we will turn further, which is further south. Right now, I'm actually going due west. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Convoluted when you're traveling this far. But, yeah, go west. I'm going south. But, yeah, it is not a straight path, whatever it is, which is a good thing. Here's a closer look at Pancake Creek, Pancake Point on that side, that sandy spit. You can actually see a couple of yachts in there. I hope you can, because I can. One has to assume there's a sandbar between us and them, otherwise it'd be pretty rolly. Anyway, the next point that we're heading for up here is Clues Point, and that'll be followed by Bustard Head. So still travelling at about 6 knots plus. So yeah, really happy with that. Making up for the slow exit out of Turkey Beach. Another look into Pancake Creek. One of the boats there maybe is coming out. It's just the mast is rocking like crazy. So I hope it's not doing that when they're at anchor, because that would be very uncomfortable. Clues Point. And just further on, Bustard Head. There's a lighthouse up there. Now, because the land here is so flat within this bay area, Turkey Beach is somewhere across that flat patch. And I was actually getting the shine from that lighthouse in my cabin overnight. It's like, where the hell's that coming from? Oh, okay. Miles away. There you go. Very effective. Clues Point has a light on it as well. But it's obviously designed to shine just for local traffic around this point, because it's this side of the hill, so you're not going to see it from all around. Just about to round Bustard Head, there is the lighthouse. Now, if you look at the distance there, you can see some land behind the white surf, which is where 1770 is. The dome hill there is called Round Hill Point, and that's where we're headed. So we'll be straight across the bay after we get round this point. So as always with a promontory or a cape, it confuses the scene no end. So you've got currents coming one way, currents going the other way, wind coming in, and of course the water getting shallower, even though it's 15 meters here, of course, because the currents rip it up. It still turns into a bit of a washing machine, even on the best of days. Oh, and there's Bustard Head Lighthouse. Actually a lighthouse, not just a light. Getting closer to 1770. We're in the middle of Bustard Bay now, so you can see it curves right around. It's all beach virtually. Look at that. Miles and miles and miles of golden sand. Sand dunes. And Bustard Point. Going nicely. At the moment, ETA has me in at around about 14:30. It is now 13:18, not 17:70. I don't think we have such a time. Anyway, look at this sea. Just wonderful. Steady breeze, 5 to 6 knots. Considering my average speed, I've said is 3.5. I think I'm doing well there. So, and also made up for that time that we had this morning on the motor, which was only really 2 to 3 knots, as the tide decided whether it was going to go out or whatever. So, all goodness. Very tricky coming in here. As you can see, swells are piling up. We've got 3.3 under the keel at the moment. I think we've got tide coming out too, so yeah, anyway, pick your poison, right? So just got the red and green markers up ahead. Just got to get into the deeper part now, 2.8 under the keel. Still got the main up. I just want to have that extra push coming in. I've got the engine running on standby. We're doing 5 knots still coming down the channel, so all good. So far so good.
Hi, I'm Peter on Fast Forward, as you probably realised by now. I'm here in the town of 1770, Queensland, where we had a slightly non-standard arrival, and but I'm here, so that's the good news. The rest of the story, however, you're going to have to wait until our next video. But here's a sneak preview.
What a day!
Thank you for watching another Fast Forward to Queensland video. As always, don't forget to like, comment on YouTube and subscribe to Dawn Raider.